Welcome. We are live Friday, July 18th with our new guest, Claire Bays. What's up, girl? Bam, bam, bam. I feel like I have assets somewhere in here. Hold on.
Take this chance to apologize. Absolutely nobody.
Nice.
Yeah, I have some. Let's see, the main event.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Yes.
this is
That's
the
right.
main event of the evening.
Perfect. I feel like that's fitting with like
It's
Your-
so on point. Yeah.
your association and background, right?
Yes. Yeah. I very regularly
Sure.
do my own version of that.
That's right. Yeah, we'll have to make an intro. Claire, what's up? Thanks for being here. Thanks for joining.
Thanks for asking me to come over here. You said it was one of your viewers that originally pitched you the idea. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember who. I don't know. We were trying to figure out who it was, and I can't remember. It was on a show. And so I brought Claire, or I asked Claire. Me and Claire have known each other for like 10 months now, since October of last year, right? You did CODA, you did Iron Games. And we've crossed paths, I don't know, like 4 or 5 times since then.
A shocking amount in person, considering
Weird, right? Like,
how
yeah,
far apart we live. Yeah.
Weirdly, since I sit in this room, like for 98% of my job, and I've crossed paths with you more than for sure anyone that I've like more than Ben, Kevin, people I work with, my athletes.
That's funny.
Yeah, it is funny. And so Claire has her own podcast, and a show, and so Claire's super good on the mic, and Claire's our number one, I think the best MC in the space, and definitely up and coming. I for sure foresee her being on the CrossFit Games floor in time, and yeah, I just feel like, hey, why not? Let's give it a try and see if it's something that'll fit and work. And yeah,
I appreciate that. And I have to like call out too that as far as within the last year of starting to do this role more and more, everywhere that I go, I ask for constructive feedback on the role because it is a relatively newer role. And as far as emceeing specifically, anyway, I just have to say thank you to you. I know I've told you that before, but like you have strong opinions about many things, and even including that. So it's really been like genuinely helpful because as far as when I said, hey, give me feedback, like you had very specific feedback for me. And so I've been able to take and implement that, and we'll continue to do that. But I appreciate that from you at those events. So thank you.
cool. Yeah. All right, what's up, everybody? Good morning, Slater. How's it going? Kenneth, what's up? Good morning. Kevin, we are gonna name the workouts, not today. When they get a little closer, I definitely want to name them. Me and John are doing a show this afternoon, a prediction show, assuming we know event 3. So I'll be on again in like 4 hours. But we'll do a prediction show a little bit later today on the workouts, but we'll go over the workout. We'll go over event 4 today and my thoughts on it. And me and Claire's thoughts on it. Yeah, Aaron, good call. Aaron knew. I think it might've been Aaron that made the suggestion, to be honest.
Yeah. Shout out. Thank you.
What's up, Vic? Good morning, Craig, Judy, Renata, Craig, more Craig, Lido. How's training coming? And good, better. Jody, good morning from the bunker. Jody trains like in her basement. Oh, it was Kenneth. Kenneth knows. Kenneth has a better remember of my shows than I do, so that's why we keep him around. I feel like they won't announce event 3 till the games. Otherwise, they would have done so already. Probably. I think because it's Amanda 45. I think it's just like he said it's a couplet. It fits the programming so far, and we've had event 4. I don't know. What do you think, Claire? Any opinions on what event 3 might be?
No, where did that originate? Because everybody seems to be like latched on to the idea of it being Amanda 45. Where did that?
So Amanda 45's history, it was Friday nights, new venue, Carson. It was the first Friday night event at Carson. It was the first Friday night event in Madison.
Okay.
And that was when it went to Amanda 45. And so it's just the gist. He also said it was going to be a couplet for Friday night. It fits the current 4 events well. We have a long monostructural, we have a short kind of like higher skill gymnastics shoulder burner. Event 4 is kind of like what Dave has said is grindy and grunty, and we'll talk about that as well. Is it's not, and so it just fits, right? Like very weightlifting, gymnastics, traditional. It kind of fits his feel. So, anyways, and no, it wasn't removed. We thought it was going to be, but no, it wasn't. The removed event was the only technically removed event last year was
the hammer one.
The hammer.
I don't know what that was.
The worst event.
Yeah.
It was, yeah, that was terrible. Good morning, Terry. Leslie, good morning. Good morning. All right. So what we'll start with, we're going to review event 4 and him going over it. So we'll watch the Dave video and then we'll go from there. Cool. All right.
Sounds good.
Sick.
I've heard so many opinions on this already.
Did they remove 2? Did they remove Amanda 45? Is that true? Am I totally wrong? If they did, then it's 100%. Oh yeah, they sure did. Oh yeah, they're 100% gonna remove it or gonna bring it back.
Wait, I don't understand. I don't understand. They removed 2?
Yeah, so they removed the sledgehammer, but I guess they removed Amanda 45 as well. I totally forgot that. And the one will 100% be here. It's not even a question now at this point. I totally thought that there just wasn't a plan, and yeah. I don't know why I forgot that. Anyways, 100% will be Amanda 45. All right, let's go to this. We can die on that hill. Yes, it's true. Thank you. All right, here we go. All right, so we'll watch this at 1.25 and pause and talk about it, blah, blah, blah.
We tested it with just deadlifts and handstand walks, and it was only 60 feet. Yeah, this is almost double the handstand walks.
Do you remember him from NorCal?
I do, yeah. I think he was at TFX as well.
TFX.
Yep.
Yeah, right. So it's going to be run 300, 12 deadlift, and then 60 feet down, 60 feet back of handstand walk. 5 rounds per time.
So first off, I love, these are amazing, right? Like this whole thing is amazing. The behind the scenes, listening to Dave as a programmer in the space. I love picking his brain and like hearing him, because no matter what anyone says and no matter how much I'm probably going to like criticize his thoughts right now, he is the framework of the program design in this entire space, no matter what. Right? He holds the keys, the puppet master, right? Like, and so knowing what he's thinking is super important to writing program design. Yeah,
for your role. Well, and then this is the first time they've done anything like this, right? Like there have been times where in hindsight, he'll talk about the game plan strategy, but as far as like announcing or accompanying this with the behind the scenes, that's the first time they've ever done anything like that, right?
100%. And it's cool. And it's not even like even the retrospective viewpoints from Dave are minimal. Yeah. There's like he wrote a book, and every now and then you'll hear him talk about like maybe a couple sentences of it, but nothing. We've never had anything like this.
Yeah.
All right, so turn this down a little bit. Kind of let it walk through. So
that's a lot. You ever done that much?
Here.
You ever done that much?
Piece 1.
Probably not, huh? That's okay.
All right. So have you ever done that much? Meaning in a workout, and the response was probably not, which is wrong. People do 500 feet all the time. And so this is this is great to see, but it also is a good testament that I think the testing pool, like Kevin is asking, the caliber of athletes is not accurate.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing against Rafa or Allison or Ben, but the top 20 athletes of the CrossFit Games, or the top all 30, are all fitter than them. That's why they're not there, and there are games athletes there. And I don't think he's making a great correlation and a great, like gapping jump from like, this is what it is to this is where it's going, and this is what these athletes are going to be capable of. Mm-hmm. And so now this workout's better. I guess we should talk about what the actual workout is for half a second. It is 5 rounds, 300-meter run, 12 deadlifts at 220 and 350.
330 or 350.
Yeah. And 330. No, that's not right.
I'll look it up.
Yeah, it's 110 pounds difference. Or no, it's 130.
Yeah, 350, 220. You were right. Yeah.
And 100-foot handstand walk. And so it's a good workout overall with an axle bar is the gist. And so I think the workout is good. I think it can be very boring depending on what they decide to do. If they're on runners, if they're only doing 25 feet. And so all of those things are things that we don't know. But overall, I think the workout is a beatdown. It is hard. And athletes will feel it, but it will not. Seems like it's a 20-minute time cap. And I think he's super out of touch. And we'll talk about why in a second.
Times for first 2 rounds. I want to see if we shorten up the run a little. Speed it up.
So immediately he's talking about the times for the first 2 rounds. He thinks it's too long, right? And that's because Rafa is a subpar runner, and so is Allison, and so is Ben. Like all 3 of them testing it are not good runners, and it's not a good start.
Well, and Allison specifically commented, I mean, that she wasn't necessarily the best deadlifter. And I thought John, so I think they recorded last night, barbell spin, I think, and John was commenting about, did you have a chance to watch that yet?
Yep.
Yeah. And so how he was saying that they had done a competition with an axle bar and how the guy who performed the best with that was like a 6'4" guy, that the weight he was able to lift on the axle bar, like he was just talking about hand size being so important to doing and I've done very little work with axle bars, although I've done some, but I also don't have small hands for a woman. So this is just, if that is that big of a component, then it's interesting because how much is that going to play into like the awarding of potentially 100 points, is hand size going to play in?
Oh, for sure. And I think the axle bar almost not solidifies, but it validates the weight disparity a little bit better because it's 63 to men, which is way too low. Right. Weights should be 70, anywhere from like 69 to like 73, I think is our sweet spot currently. And so it's really, really low. But the axle bar, because that's a universal size, is going to make a little bit of a difference. And that's going to challenge the women because it's like Rogue when they did the log muscle up. Yeah. Right. Like that was a huge difference. They didn't change it then, and they should have, because one girl finished and a lot of the guys finished, and there's a big difference there. And so that's good. The problem is, and the biggest problem is the runner time frame, right? Like Lito says, 2 minutes for 300 meters, even though they're on a woodway or whatever they're running on, it's slow. I mean, that's slow for like a moderately good class athlete. And so her statement said that she was about the same speed as Rafa. That's bad. And that means it's a bad testing pool, right? And so like JR said last night, you got to test it for 2 rounds for time all out, and then assume that they're going to be around that for 5 rounds. Like that's how you generally should do it. But who knows? All right, let's keep going.
They make the total round time better. So even though this is one testing session, I'll get data points for 2 different scenarios. Meaning at this point, basically 4 minutes per round with the 400 runs. With the 300s, I'm assuming 330.
It's a bad take. Maybe. It's going to be like 3. I think it's going to be like 3 around, because they're going to go unbroken on the deads in 25 seconds. They're going to push the runs to like a minute 30. And so, I mean, you're looking at like 3:30, 3:15, depending on it's going to be faster.
We'll see. And then at the end, I'll have good data for 2 different versions within, see what I'm saying? Still happen before. I might have them before rounds instead of 5. I want this to be around under 20 minutes. If we would have done 5 rounds at what we were doing, it would have been over 20 minutes.
It wouldn't have. I don't think for any athlete. I mean, for some athletes, but not many.
This workout, the grind. The handstand push-up fat bar or handstand walk fat bar deadlift combo is really interesting because it's the fat bar deadlift and the handstand walk kind of fucks with everything. We did this version a few days ago without the run, but I decided to pull the run in. Thinking of it as a long grind, classic CrossFit workout. I want the run to be a little faster. He's not running as hard as I would hope, but I think in race day, those guys will have to run harder. I mean, and it's smart. He's pacing it all, so he's not doing anything wrong. He's not trying to blow up. And that's the thing. You got to ride that line. You can't push hard there and then maybe blow up on the other stuff. Let's have her do 2 rounds of the run, handstand walk deadlift.
And then this girl, like, this girl isn't even a semifinals athlete.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Her name is Alexis something or another. But I mean, she didn't even make to, you know, like, not to take anything away from TFX, but she didn't even qualify for TFX, like, not even close.
Yeah.
And that's not good. And so it's just not a great testing pool. Yes. I think it's a big issue. That barbell is also Alexis. I mean, she looks super fit. Looks great. Like, I don't want to like not, but like, it's not a good, like, the testing pool needs to be everybody that almost made it. Fly them in. They missed by 1 spot. That needs to, from every competition, the person who missed by 1 spot needs to be the testing pool.
We do. Chris says a little bit tight, but
let's take it 50 then.
Okay.
Just to make it clean, so it won't be tight.
Okay. So
I agree.
Just frustrated.
Yeah.
She don't understand.
It'll be stiff. This one's a long one. This is obviously like 20 minutes. So.
And then that right there, I hope this isn't the long one, because I don't think it's going to turn out to be the long one like he anticipates.
Yeah.
It's going to be rough. Yeah. And so everyone's talked about this, but
I don't know yet. Maybe even 25-foot sections. He did his shit all unbroken, didn't he? Rafa?
Yeah, he did.
He would go down, kick down, and he did 60 feet too. So the
I love
first
these
version we came up
videos
is
though, by the way.
lengthwise,
I love it.
like standard,
New
but
feet.
because we're gonna do 2 heats of 15.
That's
we're doing
mean.
widthwise.
It's funny as
And
shit.
the setup, that's what we have. We
She does kind of look like
you
me,
create
except
the floor plans, you create the rigs, and then you program around what you
8
have.
inches taller.
She said I was breathing hard on the first one. I said, no, I just really breathe hard during workouts. This one's going to be worse.
All right, so here's the full event. I think it said it took him like 23 minutes or something.
Took Ben that long?
Yeah, I feel like they set a time somewhere.
That's
pretty funny.
Kind of still feel my grip from the last workout, like an hour and a half ago. That's what people forget. People just see like this stuff, but like it took me a long time to practice and learn.
How did you figure it out?
Trial and error.
Man, I was listening to Ben on the first video. Did you watch all these?
All these yeah, I did.
Yeah, and so he made a comment that that he was just talking to Dave about like the difficulty of it, and I was like, man, I feel like you're being a pushover. I feel like you're just like not pushing back. I don't know. It just didn't seem like he was giving the true opinion. I was like, you have to know that this isn't that hard of a workout, right? Like the crossovers, like you're just not great at crossovers. And then the workout was what it was. And I just felt like it was a miss.
Yeah.
Like it just seems like, I don't know. I just need you need someone there that's going to be like, no, this is too fucking easy for these athletes.
Right.
You know, I don't know. I don't know.
There weren't like coaches. There weren't CrossFit coaches then. It was just what you could find online. But I learned like, that's a fun way to learn because you learn all the ways to do it wrong and all the little improvements that you make along the way, all the little steps, you learn really intricately how to do them. So it's a fun process. That's what everybody gets to do at the gym every day, you know? All the athletes that come to the gym. Lunchtime?
Hey, what do you want?
Water. Salt.
We're probably getting Mexican food.
That sounds great. Fine going from that into my first one. It's the second one where I had to wait down there if I wanted to make the whole thing unbroken. Yep. If I wanted to break it up at 25, I could have shortened the rest down there, but I would have rested. Yeah. So kind of a trade-off there. I tried to rest down there and make it.
Did you push hard on that?
The run was more of the try to breathe and recover than it was.
Craig,
So
what do you
we made
mean?
about 400 that add about a minute and a half, right? Roughly about a minute and a half.
Recover than it was.
So if we made the run 400 that add about a minute and a half, right? Roughly.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see if I can get Scott or someone out next week, Monday through Wednesday. Okay, so the next one we're going to test is going to be individual.
Wait, so you didn't see a time for him at all, right?
No, I
Okay.
was wrong. Maybe I meant. I mean, you can even just see like,
Okay, so the next one.
this is at 2.5. This is at 1.5, and I just wanted to like, just look at how slow this run is. I mean, that's a jog. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I think You nailed it. I mean, even at like, so at the semifinals, right? So she goes to semifinals, Rafa does, the other girl does not. And at the semis, you see from the qualifiers down the line, like there's such a massive gap by the time that you get to the bottom, which yet again, these are like insanely fit people, but there's a very distinct difference in performances, right?
Right.
So then, yeah, I mean, that's just tough because if that's what you're using as your baseline, I mean, I'm just with you of like, these people that go to the games is the top 30 now, you know? So like
Right.
they're so insanely elite. They're so unrelatable that you have to find absolute freaks
And
to
I think
see.
that's the point. It's unrelatable. And so you have to you have to be able to create the relationship based on this athlete's ability and like where you know the athletes are. Like you can have anyone test it as long as they're good enough to do the test. And then you just make jumps and you make assumptions. Right. And so the point I keep coming back to is I don't think Dave understands how fit everyone is currently. Right. Like I think he's writing workouts that he assumes are going to challenge them in X manner. Right. Like a certain way. And I think he's just missing the mark because I think he still thinks it's like, it just feels like he thinks it's 2017, 18, no, 14, 15, 16. And like, I think this is a good workout. It's fine. It's going to still test for the fittest on earth. He is going to win. Adler is probably going to win. And so it's fine, but it's just not great. And it's also there's not a lot of wow factor that's happening so far.
Yeah, I think that without the run, it's really exciting. And with the run, it just takes it. I mean, but not that everything needs to be exciting, but the run definitely takes it down a notch.
Everything needs to be exciting. It's the CrossFit Games. Everything needs to be exciting. And
Well, okay, so then also would you like if you were to be able to have a conversation with Dave, would your question, like would your first thing so far sounds like would be, hey, how did you come up with this testing pool? Like what was the idea behind like these or anything like that?
I mean, no, I don't. I think the testing pool again can be just fit people. I think my question would be my first question to Dave would be, why do you think the test matters less than the expression from the athletes? And he's said that a lot, and I vehemently disagree. Right. And so what he says is he says the test doesn't matter as much as the race. And I'm like, okay. And like from a who is going to win? Yes. But from the CrossFit Games is a fucking marketing tool. It's a marketing tool. And so people want to come and be excited and wowed. It is about the test. It is about the test. The test needs to be exciting, right? No, you don't have to make it a 700-pound deadlift, but it still needs to be exciting. And I think the problem is he's so twofold, right? So event 1 is a great test. It's a great running test. He's missing the mark and assuming that people are going to push the row for some ungodly reason and then suffer on the last 2 miles. A fast 3K and a slow 3K is a 1 minute time difference.
Right.
1 minute.
Yeah.
Which is a 10-second difference in miles pace time. Okay. Not a lot over 6 miles at all. Okay. Doesn't take much. No one is going to send the row at all. They're just going to hold off. And so him not making it a separate score is a miss. It's a huge miss. Okay. And so workout 2, him assuming that people are going to struggle on the dumbbell weight is a miss, right? Because his assumption of the athletes is like he's missing the mark, right? And so again, is it going to be a good race and really fast? Yes. But it's not always about like at the CrossFit Games, 10 events will be the lowest number of events we've seen in a long time, which is what the anticipated number is for the weekend. And so on top of that, now we have an event that it's just a short race, right? It's like doing Fran. Like Fran is exciting to watch, but it is not a great CrossFit Games test. Now, double Fran or triple Fran or something like that would be super exciting, right? Because it's like, oh, wow, they did 3 Frans in under 10 minutes or something to that effect.
Right.
And so for this second workout, not finishing on another set of wall walks, right? It's just who is going to transition faster. And that's just not to me, that's not very exciting to watch. Yes, it will be a good race and the fittest person will win and it will do its job, but it is fine. And that's it. It's not exciting, right? This workout is more exciting. I think the run could be there. If they're on air runners and they can come down every 25 feet, there's a lot of like ways that you could make this really exciting. 100 foot has to be unbroken. You got to turn at 50 feet, or 50 feet needs to be unbroken, not 25-foot segments. And so I just think like it's almost there, but because of the pool or because of his viewpoint of where the athlete's ability is and are, it just like he's like watering it down. I don't know. Like the first workout, he just thinks they're dumb and they're going to send the row. Like they're not. No one's going to. It's not 2015, right? And they're just not. No one's going to send it. Like it's just not how it's going to work anymore.
Well, there was notation that they weren't sending it here on the runs, like that they were like pacing and so on. I'm curious if there will be more of the workouts released. I would assume so, and then if there will be more of these released as well. Does the testing pool stay the same? Does he get different people in there? Do their the way that they show up to these workouts change? Is there any more push? Because if this one was kind of like, well, it wasn't really like a full send effort,
Right. Yeah. I mean, I think this is the whole I think this is the testing pool. Maybe one or two more people for sure, but it sounds like this is the testing pool. Can athletes make it harder by going harder? Right. And so, yes, I didn't say it's not a hard test, right? Like this is a hard workout in and of itself.
Yeah.
But it is not a CrossFit Games workout. There's a difference, right? Like Nancy is a named class workout. Naughty Nancy over the berm is a CrossFit Games workout, right? If Naughty Nancy was on an air runner, it wouldn't be that exciting. It would not have been exciting. But watching great runners like Josh Bridges and Garrett Fisher like almost walk in a workout that hard is such a cool thing to see, because it's so challenging. So like this workout, like you said, the run makes it less exciting. On an air runner will be super boring.
Mm-hmm.
The new Rogue Woodway or whatever it is. And so it can be exciting because of the CrossFit Games, but it's not. Like it's probably going to be delivered boring. And I think this is just Dave just like being a little out of touch.
Mm-hmm.
Dave can change stuff around. He can, but once this is announced, like it's solid. Like if CrossFit ever gives us information, it's locked in. It's not changing. Right. So he can change stuff, but he won't. This workout will not change. So, all right, let's finish it.
Ooh, yeah, nice.
I'm not the strongest runner, and so I think like a shorter run is gonna it was taking me like 2 minutes to do the 300 just because the heart rate.
That's so crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Like even on an air runner, right? I have 4 athletes going to the CrossFit Games, and they are much older than Allison, and they are running faster than that on mixed modal pieces on an air runner.
Lots of blood in the upper body, so it, of course, a better runner is going to be able to recover more efficiently there.
And that's the thing. No one's going to recover on this run. Like this run is going to be pushed.
Yeah.
Especially on the female side, because that barbell at 220 is pretty light.
What was your time? 23.
It's just she was so bad at the workout that I think it like further biased his view of like a 20-minute time cap.
We didn't have the time for the other girl, did we? Like whatever she tested.
Can't imagine she beat. Can't imagine she beat Allison.
I keep coming back to like with that bar, the hand size thing. I'm just really curious, and I just truly have not had enough experience personally with an axle bar to like have any opinion, about it, other than okay, if that really does play a significant factor, that's just an interesting thing to pay attention to. And then of course the weight discrepancy of like, so if you do like that, I'm curious what impact the deadlift will have on the men's backs over the course of the following days versus the women's backs, because that 220 is not like load wise super heavy. If they're having to fight because of the grip, that's not the same fight as I'm fighting because it's blowing me up through the midline.
Oh yeah. That 220, dude, 350 for 60 reps is going to eat some of these guys up. Now they're going
Yeah,
to
so then you'll have that side paying the price the rest of the weekend, and then you'll
Correct.
have the women's side. And I'm not saying that 220 you won't feel that, right? But like at this level, like 220 is nothing crazy. So
Well, if we think about it, right, like you look at the last 1RM deadlift and it was a Rogue, we had 5 girls over 400 pounds, right? So just assume everyone's in like the 360 to 400 range, right? So looking at a percentage at 60%,
yeah.
okay? 350 is not 60% of any of the guys. Like it's heavier.
Right.
It's 70 to 80% for
Yeah.
most of them. Hardly any of them are deadlifting over 500 pounds. Jody, you're crucifying these testers.
Yeah, I was gonna say I want to call that comment. Yeah.
Yeah, and so it's not these people are really fit,
Insanely fit, insanely impressive.
but it's Allison has. There's a reason Allison's never been in the CrossFit Games as an individual, right? There's a reason why I don't know who the other girl is, and there's a reason why Ben is old because it's just like he's like they're past their primes, and so it's Dave's job to pull in any tester that's capable enough and be able to make the assessment based on their ability and their results, and then like transcend that into what he assumes is going to be at the CrossFit Games. And he's missing the mark. I think he missed the mark in the open too on 25.3. He said that I couldn't believe anyone did it under. I feel like I saw a video where he thought that 12 minutes was going to be the fastest. A 20% miss on a time like guess is so big, right? Like everything happens, and so the one he talks about all the time is like the cheese curd, whatever, like the Madison triplet. No, that wasn't it.
The one that Dave talks about all the time?
Yeah, he talks about like the one that Tia almost finished in 1 that he didn't think anyone would finish in 3.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Like the yoke carry, Madison yoke or something like
Yeah,
that.
I don't remember that.
And he's like, he'll always says that that's the one that he missed. And that's because the testing pool was trash. And I think the problem is there's not the top is rising, right? Your top 30 are gapping your next 70 so much,
right?
A lot of the time, and I think this testing pool and maybe even last year's testing pool is just subpar, as far as like how
In
and again,
relation
it
to
doesn't
top
have to
30.
be right. It doesn't have to be. You don't need Rich Froning to come and test everything, right? You just need to be able to make an assessment of like where it is to where they're going to be, and I think he's missing the mark. All right, we'll finish this.
That's what actually put on the
end
of the handstand walk.
Okay. How was the handstand walk?
Solid, I would say. On the outside.
Yeah.
Did you break it up at all?
Yeah, the whole time. 25.
25?
Yep.
Okay.
I think that's fine. I mean, if you want it to be like longer chunks, I think 50 is too far. You're going to have people resting a really long time.
No, you're not. No, you're not. No, you're not. That's not. You're not going to have anyone resting a long time.
Do you think if you put just the deadlift and the handstand walk together, then do you think you have more of a compromise? Like, I'm curious with that run in there. I mean, yeah, you said obviously they're going to be pushing a gas pedal, but like there is some reprieve on the midline that happens there, so that then you can go and attack the others. Whereas if it was just the 2 back to back, then like the fatigue to the midline alone. I mean, I don't know. Those are just considerations that come up in my mind of like being able to go back upside down because you had that moment to not be in a position that was really putting a lot of stress on your midline specifically because of the run.
Oh yeah, for sure. The run allows people to stay unbroken on the deadlift more and push the handstand walk faster. Right. Even if you're going to the run, it's a longer workout, but heart rate's going to be the same. But because the run is there, if you were going to get back to that heavy deadlift in under a minute, most people would be breaking, right? Because they would be more focused on transition time. Now they're not, right? And so now it's like, and anyways, that's 100% right. Vicky, so the finer details can change though, meaning the bits they're not releasing. In all the years past, besides something like Chad, there's never been twists that weren't released. At least I could be wrong, but I don't think so. Like when they've released a workout, that's the workout.
And I love these call outs too, because wouldn't it be so fun since this is the first time that Dave has, or the team at CrossFit has released this type of stuff in advance, they're getting so much feedback for the first time ever before in this way anyway. I mean,
Mhm.
not that anytime they release workouts, of course, there's feedback, right? But like this is a lot. And so
Right.
wouldn't it be cool but yeah, like there's,
They
okay, so we
listen.
have history that says that there's not a lot of that. And then wouldn't it be cool if it was like, hey, we might as well listen and make some adjustments and whatever. I don't know.
And yes, CrossFit would do that. Dave will not do that.
Okay.
Dave doesn't listen to the hype. He doesn't listen to the noise. Like he has no idea what's being said. Unless like Savon calls him. It's like, hey, they don't like it. Let me tell you why. And Dave's
Yeah.
like, shut the fuck up. Don't
Yeah.
call me about this dumb shit. And so Kenneth, except for the run that they had to turn, well, that wasn't
But that was
on the
planned,
spot.
right?
That was
Yeah.
totally, that was 100% planned. Sean
Yeah.
Woodland knew that was always planned.
Yeah.
Like with her
They
run-
also, they didn't release any, I don't think any workouts before that competition, the 2020
year.
games. I don't think they released any
That much slower than Ben's? Why was Ben 5 minutes faster?
Deadlift.
because he ain't no
A lot of
bitch.
time on the deadlift.
Heavy? Okay. How'd you break those?
Also, if there was a minute difference in the deadlift alone,
between.
I am so curious what this bar is going to do
I
in the
think-
hands of the
I
top
think maybe
30
just a little
women.
bit. I think
I'm just
proportionately,
Yeah,
curious.
it's
the
gonna be
men's weights
tough.
that you normally do,
It's
it
gonna
was
be,
like
it's
a
a
little
big bar.
heavier, and also like in general, I think the axle bar is harder for the women because smaller hands. So I definitely
Agreed,
felt like the
for
grip
sure.
was like.
I love the
slipping.
axle bar. I think it's a great play.
You do like it.
So maybe
Yeah,
red
of
and
course.
blue?
I really don't know how I feel about it.
If it was a regular bar, I would not like this workout at all. Like it would be, the women's weight
So you
would
broke
be,
every setup into fours.
Sure,
Totally
but
accurate.
they
What was
wouldn't
that?
realistically
Because they-
program
those
that
guys
weight if it was a
two at the
normal bar.
nines, and sometimes straight through.
right.
Right?
It's the way the weights flow, right? So 220 is like 245s on each side, and it's a 40-pound bar,
Yeah.
right? And so then it's a 40-pound bar and 310 on each side, which is like, is that 150? Is that 55s the whole way?
What, to get you to 220? Oh, God.
Yeah, or whatever it is, right? It's like 255s and a 45 or something like that. Like that's what it ends up being.
Okay.
He's also like a really good deadlifter.
Yeah. So
But even Rafa, when we did something similar,
Yeah.
he was no more than 2 sets. Okay.
Yeah,
Right.
I don't know. I mean, I love having some different implements, of course, like always. This one, I'm so tripped up on that hand size. I can't even see straight.
right. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. Again,
Yeah.
it's a good test. I just don't know if it's it's just not a very exciting test.
Hmm. So if you so event 1, you would say not exciting,
No, event 1 is not exciting, but so now
but it's a
again,
great test.
But it's a good running test.
Yes.
And so the problem is we have an implement. Whenever we write a test, all the implements should affect the test. Okay, meaning like if the implement wasn't there, the test would change.
Sure. And you're
Right?
saying
That's
that the
how
row is just so irrelevant.
Would not. If you ran 6 miles or you ran 4 miles and you had the row or you didn't have the row, the amount of difference is going to be negligible, right?
Mhm.
Event 1 is almost never exciting, and that's
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah, I
That's
was going to say
fine.
it doesn't need to be. Yeah.
But run, swim, run still made a difference, right? And run, swim makes a difference, right? And so they're usually balanced enough that each implement within a test still makes the difference. Okay. Same with event 2. 20 crossover double unders is probably not enough to make the difference. That number needs to be higher. And that's not a great assessment of where the athletes are in their ability. Right?
Mhm.
20 is not the number. It should have been 50 or
Yeah.
40, or really that whole test should be a little bit different. But the row is irrelevant. And when you have an irrelevant piece of an hour-long test that's 12 minutes long, that's not a good thing. That makes the test even more boring. Right? And so that row should be a second score. And I'll
Mhm.
die on this hill.
Yeah.
100% should be 2 scores.
I like it. Yeah.
Just like NorCal. 2 scores. As soon as you sit down on that row and you pull that handle, you have a 3K for time. That will fuck people up, and that will completely change the tests.
No, Scuds was not using grips, Kevin.
Yeah, no grips. And so, yeah, it's frustrating. Also, name the fucking tests.
I strongly agree. I think everyone agrees.
Name the tests, Dave. Let Boz name the test. Just let him name the test. You make them, hold your own, then let Boz name the tests. Anyways, if this is the direction that it's going, like I think someone else needs to program CrossFit Games. And that makes me so sad to say, but it's just like we have to be exciting. We have to make exciting tests. And it's not hard to make good tests and balanced and find the fittest on earth. That's not a hard thing to do. But Dave has always talked so much about like what it looks like, how it's going to flow down the floor, all of those things. And I agree. I think those things are really, really important. And I think they're almost as, if not more important than actually finding the fittest, because it's a marketing event. People want to watch the CrossFit Games and get motivated and then like go do the workout at home. Right. And so I don't know. Nah. I just think he's just a little out of touch.
I still think it's, I mean, like, yes, it is a marketing event and I'm a huge fan, obviously, like the flow down the floor and so on being so important. And then I also just think about all of the insane content that gets created from these events. And I'm like, it's still a great marketing event, but I can see how in the moment, real time, watching the event in full, those things matter tremendously.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. I don't feel like I want to keep hammering on like Dave being out of touch. I think you guys understand that's where it is, but it's important, right? Like it's just, it is a very important piece. And yeah, I hope there's a twist. I hope there's something that we're not seeing. I hope it's like up and down the stadium or something like that for event 4.
Well, as of right now, there are 7 opportunities roughly, and maybe more for things that we don't know.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. A lot of unknown.
Maybe that's why the events aren't over the top exciting. So he talked about bringing it back to basic CrossFit, and that's totally okay. We can do that. Like we can be that and relate them to average CrossFitters. CrossFit grew because people looked at Rich Froning and Annie and Chris Spieler and Josh Bridges and Jason Kalipa, and they were like, that's the coolest thing I've ever seen. I may never be able to be there, but I'm going to try my damnedest to do all of those cool things in some capacity. When you lower the bar,
I was gonna say, you want to keep
creating relatability, then the bar is lowered, right? Like the reason, Judy, the only reason why everyone on this call tries to learn double unders and muscle ups is because it was in the open and it's part of our everyday CrossFit. If the open and the CrossFit Games had never pushed the physical requirements and the complexity of movement to that point, then CrossFit would just be another fitness endeavor, right? It wouldn't have all of those things. And I know the methodology plays a role, but I've always said that when you shoot for the stars, right, like you're going to elevate everybody, right? And so when you have this really high level stuff and these very hard things, you know, we understand the difference, but if it's just a little bit different and a little bit harder, I don't think it makes it more relatable to the app. Like it makes it more relatable, but they know, like we know, like we can look at anything. And if that workout was 500 pounds, I'm like, oh shit, that's crazy. Right. Or if it was a 600 meter row or a vested row or something like that, or a vested run, we would still understand the relatability, right? Like it would just be, holy shit, that's crazy. But I think if you're bringing the competition down to make it more relatable to average CrossFitters, like that's not the goal. That's why you go to class. That's why you see semifinals. That's why you do a local competition. But I don't think that's the play. No.
Yeah. I mean, you got interested in it, I would imagine, because there was something remarkable going on, right?
Yeah.
Not something relatable going on.
Yep.
Yeah.
No, well, yeah, sort of. I got in it from like mental health reasons initially in competition, but then it sort of went into those other things. Maybe that's a story for another time.
Yeah, I'm like, hold up, what?
Yeah. My dad died like the week I started CrossFit, and like it's what CrossFit is like what kept me out of the sewer.
I'm sorry for you losing him. So wait, how did you know about it beforehand? Like how did that happen within the same week?
My best friend, like my bodybuilding bro from college, fraternity brother, everyday training partner, was like had started, and I gave him so much shit about it because like we hated CrossFit, and then he came up and I smoked him. He like, let's do this workout, and he thought he was going to beat me, and I blasted him, and I was like, oh, this is kind of fun. and then yeah, and I just started as like a like let's just try it before I leave for PT school, and then like that same week my dad like traumatically suddenly passed away, and so like it just kept me out of a normal gym with mirrors. I look like a fucking spitting image of my father, and so I was like, I can't look at myself anymore, and so there's no mirrors in the CrossFit gym, and I had a pup. He helped me a lot through that. So yeah, it was yeah, CrossFit holds a like near and dear to my heart. But what kept me in, you know, like that was that, but then I just fell in love with the competition and, you know, training hard and trying to be like chasing Sam Briggs around a gym that I couldn't even like stay within 50 feet of her on anything. And so it was that's what kept me in. But what got me in was something totally different. So yeah. Getting over classic break. Exactly. So right, where are these athletes now? Annie turned on CrossFit. The only one left is Rich. So that's an interesting statement. Not really where we were going. We can always talk about that. But yeah, I don't understand. I don't understand that. But all I meant by that was we looked up to them because they did things that we didn't know were possible.
Straight up.
Right. And so I think if the level and the complexity and the challenge of the test was lower over the years, like it wouldn't be where it was. We wouldn't have this, you know, the level of athlete wouldn't have moved where it moved, right? Like the athlete will rise to the test, right? And the Riches and the Annies and Katrin and Tia and Matt and Justin and Jeff, right? They're pushing the competition more. If the test stays stagnant, the ability of the athlete will stay stagnant.
Well, and the ability of the athlete, of course, from those early days to now is like there's such a massive gap there. But that being said, even all the way, if you take it all the way back then, there still wasn't relatability then, right? So like, yes, they've gotten better. However, like what they were doing at the time was also still remarkable. Like that, I don't think that regardless of the weight that they're lifting or the specific movement that they're doing, like there's that component to it is important.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so and that's also the other thing. And I think because of that exact statement, it doesn't, you know, like where the athlete was then and where they are now, that's the difference. I think Dave is stuck in the then. He's not seeing the now. He's like, oh, this is like really any workout. Like the 2015 games are arguably the best program games ever. But if we program them now without any differences, they would blast through them. Right? Like it wouldn't be as hard and as difficult and wouldn't fit the mold as well. Right. And so you got to move the needle. The needle just needs to be moved. Yeah. And so anyways, yeah, we need workouts like Atalanta, not Fran. I mean, I love Fran.
What do you think about that statement?
I mean, I think Atalanta is probably too much.
Absolutely insane.
But it needs to be more like Atalanta and less like Fran. We'll go with that. Right.
That was a shock to the system. And clearly I still haven't gotten over it.
You're right. A crazy workout. And so we would never had a Matt and Tia without Rich. Yeah, for sure. Right. Exactly. But we would never have like Rich would never have been able to do what he did if the difficulty wasn't there. Right. Like if this is a great example. Rich Froning only was a 4-time champion because how hard CrossFit was. If CrossFit stayed what it looked like in 2007, 8, and 9, Rich would have never won because it was too aerobic. It got more complex. It got harder. It got more high skill gymnastics. It got more strategy biased. It got, you know, like the test increased in challenge. That's why Rich was able to win because he was just better than everyone else. If it was just lightweight, burn it downs, running, machine work, he would not have won. He wouldn't have won because he was terrible at it. Like Rich was a horrendous runner through his entire career. Maybe 2014, he got a little bit better. Right. But because the difficulty of the test increased over the years, that's why Rich was able to win because he was that much better at what we consider now as CrossFit. Not what CrossFit was in 2007, 8, and 9. Like he wouldn't have won. Like it would have been your military guys, your great runners, right? You're not that strong people because it was just cycle rate stuff. And it was just who just had the better aerobic engine. But when it got heavy, when gymnastics got better, when you're like, oh, we can't just go unbroken and just try to go as hard as we can all the time. Rich knew that from the start, and he was able to make that and leverage that to become, the most influential and the best athlete in our sport, right? Well, most influential athlete in our sport. And so, and so, yeah. And then that just, Tia and Matt on the back of that and the growth, etc. But if we were still doing workouts like they were programmed in 2013 and 14, level of athlete
At the
would not
games
have
level.
pushed that far, right? Like people wouldn't look like Dallin or James or Jason, because that athlete would not be successful in the sport. They would still look like Josh and Chris. You know what I mean? They would be smaller.
Yeah.
And so, anyways, reprogram Atalanta. Nah, I don't think so. Too much.
I'm happy to leave that one in the past.
Yeah. All right. What else? So I wanted to give shout out, not that this podcast reaches that many people, but Pan Am's is going on currently.
Oh yeah.
And
Get her.
and Maddie Rogers is a good friend of mine, and she had an amazing comeback win to take gold in this the 77, and it was fantastic. And so I just wanted to replay the last bit and talk through it because it was fucking crazy. So Maddie wasn't favored to win. Going into it, there was a local Colombian favorite. This girl here, Maria Sanchez, this one. And local, I think it was her, right? She snatched 111, right? So coming into the last set of lifts, Maddie was down by a kilo. Okay. And she took the heaviest first attempt, made it. And so we'll start at her second through. But it was super exciting. And so I don't think it was this girl.
Oof.
She made that jerk. I made this jerk too, which was pretty crazy. Very good. Billion. Okay. Billions always celebrate everything. Just basically in female form. And so anyway, so here's Maddie for her second attempt at 137. This would have put her in the lead. And she had to double bounce. Well, she had to triple bounce out of it. And so if you watch Maddie lift enough times, usually after a double bounce, it's really hard for her to make a jerk. Legs just get tired. And so she misses this jerk, just a little soft in the elbow.
Oh.
And so we go through, and I think this is the girl that ends up being in the lead. And I think she smokes this to put herself a little bit further in the lead, right? Because she hit 111. So she was at 248 right here after this. Right. So she's at 248. If you guys can see right here in first place. Okay. She's done. That was her last lift. And no one else is in contention, right? Everyone else is done. And so Maddie needs 238 or 138 to tie, which is more. She had just attempted and missed 137. She needs 138 to tie, which I'm fairly confident she would have lost because I think she came in heavier. So she needed 139 to win.
Yeah.
Okay. And so,
which that's 306.5 pounds.
right. Yeah. It's heavy as fuck.
That's
and so this
wild.
girl's lifting for like nothing. And so she just happens to be a better clean. And so here's Maddie going for the gold after it was either gold or she was in bronze. I think she had solidified bronze, but she won another gold. And so she had to hit 5 kilos over her last make. And so it was,
which is, I mean,
a lot. It's a ton. no double bounce.
Yeah.
And immediately I knew she had it. I've seen her lift enough over the last little bit that if she comes out of the hole without a bounce, she's going to smoke it. And it was just such an amazing lift. And she wins gold Pan Am's on the last lift. Can't remember her last gold. It's been quite a while. Right. And so, so Maddie has her comeback and it's super exciting. I'm super happy for her. It was fucking awesome to watch. Perrin yelled at me because I yelled. I guess I was like in here. My headphones were on and I can't hear anything outside. Like I have no context because these are noise canceling. So I have no context of like how loud I am. I know when I'm talking into the mic, it's not that loud because I don't have to talk loud. But anyways, so huge lift, took a miss, took a 2 kilo jump and got the win. And so got gold. Super awesome for her.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah,
really
and that 110 kg on the snatch too. That's 242 pounds. So 242 pound snatch, and then a 306.5 pound clean and jerk.
Yeah, for those that are only freedom unit versed. Yeah. So, anyways, she moves to her left. Yeah, I think it was a heavy jerk, right? Heavy jerk, and so I think she kind of leans over her left foot a little bit, pushes off on the right some. A lot of people have a little bit of a lean. All right.
Yeah, crazy
Super
impressive.
wild. Yeah, wild. All right, what else?
You want me to bring stuff up?
Yeah.
Well, okay. One of the things, this is actually from yours the other day that I thought was really, really good. I just wanted to like call back to it as you were talking about the whole intra carbs detail, intra sugars, and then also like choosing whatever. And I just thought I just really appreciated that. So I don't really know that we need to like rehash something you already hashed, but I was like, dude, shout out for drawing attention to that because people really just don't know, that like that for the average individual is so unnecessary and unproductive in the grand scheme.
Right. It's CrossFit teaches nutrition as the base of the pyramid for a reason.
Yeah.
And the sport is not the vessel of how everyone should assume they should take and approach nutrition, which I know a lot of people don't, and they think they kind of understand that at this point, but a lot of people do. And then they don't know. They're like, oh, well, like I can't count how many people come in with fucking Sour Patch Kids. Now, I'll fuck with some Sour Patch Kids. Like, don't get me wrong, right? I love some Sour Patch Kids, but
I mean, they are the best candy,
bro. It's up there for
they're,
sure.
They're good, yeah.
It's interesting. Of like, I have obviously I have a child and a young one, and so I've like really leaned into like chemicals and all that stuff, and like it's so hard for me to eat something like a Sour Patch Kid now just because of food dye, not of anything else. Like I struggle with it so much. I'm like, I'd rather eat like high fructose corn syrup and chocolate and seed oils. And so I just can't do food dyes really get me. And so like, I ate a pack of sour Skittles every day from like 11 to like 16. And so like I was the worst. I was a little fat kid.
Yeah, whatever.
And it turned out fine, but I just can't do it anymore. I can't.
Yeah.
I can't do it as much as I can. But people don't. I mean, we don't need as much sugar as everyone thinks we need. It's just don't. I mean, I trained fasted for years. Fine.
Yeah. Oh, and you definitely. I mean, yeah. I'm not necessarily like advocating for training fasted, although that's fine ultimately. But yet again, like, if you're not trying to chase down being an elite athlete in this space, then it's like, wait a second, what? Do we need that at all? I don't know. Yeah. I also have such a partiality to it as well, of course, given recent history. It's like taking a look at all the stuff in food.
Oh,
yeah. Like, oh my God.
Yeah, it's crazy.
What has happened here? Anyway.
What was I just about to say? Go ahead. Or you're about to bring something else up?
Well, the behind the scenes that I think it was like 3 episodes, I believe, that came out. Anyway, I thought those were timely, and it was really cool to reflect back on last year. And
yeah, it's Savannah and them do an amazing job with all of that. I mean, obviously everyone has their own flavor, and Savannah isn't a lot of people's flavor, but I think they, I mean, they're super good at their craft. I'll probably go through and sit down and watch all of them as they're
Mhm.
all public now. I've seen them over the past few months. I'm a member, so I saw them before they were made public.
Mhm.
It's been a while since I've looked at them, but um, there are good things to take away from last year, right? And in some cases, and so uh, yeah, the behind the scenes are good. If you guys haven't seen them, head over to Savon's channel and make sure that you watch them. Oh, this is what I was going to say. Going back to the carb thing on Boys Interrupted. Did you watch that?
I often do. The most recent one, I think I did.
Yeah. So they were talking about like their carb intake at
Yeah.
like 700 or
Insane.
800. That's fucking crazy.
Insane, yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
But and so
But Kevin,
well,
I mean, Kevin just commented there, competition is not healthy, right?
yeah, for sure. When you take anything from hobby and fitness and health to sport,
Mhm.
it changes, right? And there's like a goal. And we know that training CrossFit for sport is not the success and the driver of longevity for joint health and um, aging and like growing old and maintaining independence and like limiting injury risk and those kind of things, right? I think everyone understands that, but they just, it's not hard to, it's hard. It can be hard to blur those lines on accident of like, oh, this is like, when people are training for the CrossFit Games, like this isn't what's going to help them live to be 75 and, be super healthy. Right.
Right.
And so, um, but CrossFit's unique in of its point of like at somewhere on that spectrum is like you could take exactly what Dallin is doing and eating and whatever, and you whittle it down to a certain point, and then that's the healthy part of it. Right. And so it can be, but we have to understand that once it turns to sport and there's money involved, things change and those things go out the door. But, coming from the nutrition statement in the intra carbs, those dudes are still all under 10% body fat. So
Right.
obviously it's what they need. If it wasn't what they need, their body would store fat and it would be bad.
Mhm.
Right.
Yeah.
So I think
Well,
that's
just so we could take that back to the unrelatability. You know what I mean? Of just like, yes, for those individuals, that does make sense for this season of their careers, given the activities and so on. But is that something that is at all relatable in any way to
right.
the average gym goer? Like, no, I mean, I remember the times of like having the intro, whatever, and then just realizing like, this is so, this is not needed for what I'm doing.
Right. Oh yeah. 100%. So did you see, obviously you saw DB going to Adam Knifer and Jesse.
Yeah, that she made that transition
Yep.
on a coaching level. Yeah.
And so I think it's interesting to hear Justin talk about it. And it's
On that episode of Boys
on
Interrupted?
Boys Interrupted. And it was a really short clip. And I think they did a politically good job of not like throwing it under the bus, but I'm very confident that it's a lab management thing. And because lab management coaches or manages Justin and Ellie and Trista, and they manage everyone at Brute. And so they were like, hey, she needs some help. And the way Justin talked about it was basically it sounds like he's tolerating it and allowing
For
it
another coach's pass.
because for another coach's pass. And I
Yeah.
just thought it was such an interesting way to say it. And then I feel like he was maybe a little like quick to huge upgrade on 100% Christian. Definitely a big upgrade on JY. JY is going to be on the show this afternoon or in like 3 hours.
That went right over my head. It did not at this point, but that really took a minute.
Come on.
It's funny.
Hey,
JY is awesome.
And so I felt like he was like, oh, maybe he can help with travel. And it was just I don't know. I feel like he definitely wishes he would have walked that one back publicly a little bit. Like maybe we wouldn't have said that.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I mean,
I thought they did an amazing job. I appreciated that they acknowledged it because you knew it was just going to like litter their comments the entire time. And it did,
sure.
right?
Yeah.
So I had respect for the fact that, because I mean, they can do whatever they want. They don't have to acknowledge any of this if they don't want to. And then anyway, but the fact that they did give their fans something that they clearly really wanted in choosing to acknowledge it to any degree, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I agreed.
And I think those guys do an amazing job of that, of giving their fans what they want. I mean,
who? Oh, James, Justin, and Dallin.
yeah, that group.
Or
Yeah. Well,
Justin,
Jason.
Dallin, Jason. There we
Yeah.
go.
Yeah.
I
cannot believe Justin touched it. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. It's a 6.5. Are you really 6.5%, dude? That's fucking bonkers. That's nuts. Dude, you need to eat some donuts, bro. You need some Sour Patch Kids. 6.5 is low.
Do you have any idea where you're at?
I don't know. It's like always
I feel
around
like that's like asking
11
a girl her overall weight.
No,
or
it's like
whatever.
11 or 13 somewhere. It ranges. Depends on like I kind of like I'm like not a hyper responder, but I don't eat super clean all the time. And so if I stay clean for like a week to 2 weeks, like I drop down to like 9 to 8% pretty quick. And then my body does good there, but I like pizza and I like ice cream. And so I just, it is what it is. Never. But yeah. What's yours? I'm just kidding. Don't answer that.
I know the last scan I got is just outright wrong. It was one of those in bodies, and I'm just like, there's no way. Like, I know what it said, and it said it was lower than it is. So I just don't believe it.
Yeah, I do an InBody, and we just have one at the gym, and so I just stick with that, right? Like it's the one I always use, and so I know there's obviously like ups and downs about it, but consistent, like using the same machine.
Yeah.
The whole time. Anyways, all right. Anything else?
Well, we were on that episode. No, I don't think there was really much more to say about that in regards to the whole like coaching, whatever. No. Yeah.
Hopper's not sub 5. It's just not even close. That's such a lie. By the way, he's not sub 5. He's never been sub. I mean, he may be at some point.
Do you think he's the leanest though, as far as in the men's field go? He's got to be up there.
I think he becomes extremely photogenic, like when Hiller did his thing.
I was gonna say, if you have a video done by Hiller, like you about to look good,
right? But like he gets really photogenic, like in those things. But when he's not training and stuff, he looks normal.
Yeah. Normal for incredible athlete.
Yeah.
For a games athlete.
Yeah, he's not. Who's Barbie with? I've never seen this person comment. Barbie with barbells. That's a funny picture. Yeah, you can't. There's no way he's maintaining sub 5 and like recovering well. The problem with low body fat like that is like you just like you need recovery, right? Like you need fat to recover, to sustain injury and like blunt force trauma as well, right? What I've found over the years. So I have a female 45 that's like under 10 and she's, I call her Terminator because she fucking looks like Terminator, and struggles to stay injury free all the time because I think because of how lean she is, it's just like the body just does not tolerate impact and volume as much the leaner you are.
Yeah. There's a real genetic component to that too. I know there's a guy that Jimmy, we trained with him last time we were out in Los Angeles. And
Who's Jimmy?
Sorry, Jimmy is my fiance. And he's a professional wrestler. He's done a bunch of cool feats. But today he is a professional wrestler. And we're going to San Antonio for the WWE show today. He is an extra on that show today. So that'll be fun.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
So what do you like get to be backstage and shit?
No, we're so green in this whole world. So
okay.
yeah, I mean, the whole thing is so new. As of today, no.
Got it. Maybe soon.
But, yeah.
Go ahead.
Anyway, but we were talking there were a couple of, and now I want to go find, let's see, I'm blanking on the gentleman's name, but anyway, these two brothers that one of them, he's like sub 5 year round all the time. I mean, just a freaky looking dude. And then the older brother is yet again in incredible shape, but just a few percent higher. And I was just talking to him about how, I guess there are 3 siblings and this one brother that sits below 5 year round feels great, whatever. And just like he has operated that way his whole life
Right.
versus the siblings that still are in great shape. But like if they try to get that lean, that is not sustainable for them in any way. So there is some level of
Oh,
that
yeah,
that
for
is
sure.
just like where you land and operate comfortably. Like there are some people who can do it leaner and still be relatively well recovered.
Right.
But also then I'm comparing to not CrossFit athletes for context too.
Sure. Yeah,
So
exactly. And so I think that's a point. And then I think there's like people say 5 and they don't know what 5 means.
yeah,
Like 5 is stage.
freaky.
Yeah, 5 is like C-bum on stage. Right?
Yeah,
Like
we're talking
he's
about
5.
for men too. This is not a place that women go.
Right. Yeah,
Yeah.
women can't get that lean.
Yeah,
And
no.
so speaking of lean women, do you want to go over Hiller's female best physique?
He did do that. Yeah. I
He
thought
did.
if you are going to do that, that was the most tasteful that it could have ever
He did
been
great.
done.
He did great.
Crushed it.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was fine.
Yeah.
You know? I don't think my yeah, you're 5 and you have Astra. It's true. Right. You have astriations, exactly. Yeah, I think Amy Kringle's hands down. What's happening back there? Someone cooking food?
Jimmy came down.
I think putting Pinheiro up there was crazy. I think she's, I don't know. I guess
That was a wild standard.
it
Yeah.
was, right? I was
Mhm.
like, this is the standard. And I was like, the standard? And I was like, that's crazy.
No, but I think it also allowed, like, starting it that way allowed it to be so not driven by
just like
sexuality, in my opinion. You know what I mean? Like it was like very
yeah, just like being
physique.
smoking hot. Right. Yeah, that makes sense.
Like leanness and
Yeah. She's insane.
whatever.
I mean, she's insane. But to ever think that this person is natural is fucking bonkers. I mean, she looks like she did ab etching. Like, you know what I mean? And
I don't know. I mean, my feed at this point on Instagram is like occasionally in the For You or the Discover, whatever it is occasionally now littered by these AI women with these insane physiques, and they're like walking outside or walking in the gym or whatever. And you have to do this double take because you're like, what is that? That's insane. And then you're like, oh, it's not real. She looks like she could be one of those.
oh, for sure. 100%. Well, yeah, like that's like the picture, whoever he just called out that had like the really strong jawline. Like everyone thought that was AI and it wasn't, right? It was just like, oh. Anyways, this is for sure the top. Amy Kringle is insane.
Man, if I had to do this, it would be so tough because I feel like, what is it? Was the SS and the S and then the A?
Yeah.
Like I'd have all these women up there. I don't know any.
Oh yeah, for
They're
sure.
all just
They're all insane.
Yeah.
It's
So I'm
fucking
like,
hot.
there's not a C in sight.
They're all amazing. For sure. Built by granola. That's right. I don't even know who that is. Anyways, I thought you did a good job. And I thought did you watch the guys? I don't even know his name. Nathan.
I did not watch that one.
He did a good job. Whatever his name is. Yeah, it was interesting. Ty, no matter what, right? Like no matter what, I think even the guys have like image issues, and so it always makes sense, right? Like I want to gain weight, I want to be bigger, but I want to be lean, right? You know, and so there's a point where you can push for performance, but like, you know, your view of yourself is still going to drive like some of the decisions. Mason startup. Thank you. So Vicky, it's interesting to see the difference between what men find attractive versus women. Is that like how women view men and men view women, or how women view women and men view women? I feel like it's probably the latter.
Well, and what you said too about always wanting to look good, but then also wanting to perform well. I think that each individual's maybe relationship with that is uniquely their own. You know, like some people are going to be super driven by the desire to look good according to whatever standard they deem to be that way. And then some people are just not going to be as attached to that. And they're going to be more attached to performance over aesthetics, you know?
Yeah. Kevin, I have Spiegel on a bottom tier. I can't believe she has such following. You know, I think if you guys weren't in the YouTube space, in general, and you just like saw a random girl with a huge ass on Instagram, you would think differently. But because I think this is where like there's like a, I don't know, it's not a recency bias, but like a, I don't know, like you just don't like who she is, which is totally fine. That's like your opinion. And I think that like creates a big opinion on how you view her. Cause I think fundamentally, I think Danny is pretty attractive. I mean, like it's hard to say if you don't like her, that's fine, but she's pretty attractive. I mean, you know, she has like, I don't know, like 43-inch hips and abs. It's pretty, it's a fucking insane thing to be on a female in general. But it, you know, I think there's like a, you just don't like who she is and what she represents and things like that. And that's totally okay.
Yeah, which speaking of Ty Jenkins, I think you had mentioned the whole, because he did the one with Dave, then he also did the thing with Hiller that just came out. So there were a couple of different pieces with him. The one with Hiller, I just loved that this young man is like willing to boldly state his perspective on things.
Yep.
And then the fact that like I did hear in your episode that you were like, and now I'm considering the things that I follow. And so like he gave you food for thought that you're working with.
Yeah, it's already like been like part of my like Instagram thing. It was like if anything pops up that's like an, you know, any page that I follow that like does an OF girl for like money or whatever, like sometimes I get annoyed and most time I just skip through it because I like the other stuff. And now I'm just like, nah, I don't want to see it anymore. You know, and so like he'll like purposefully like stop following that person, even if they never did, if it just showed up randomly like in a search. And I was like, that's a good thing. That's what I want to do. And
well, and then on the flip side of it, then he did the one with Dave, and then that I think there was something there that you maybe wanted to call back to. Or no? It was something to do with the workout. I don't know.
Oh yeah. It was just more like workout one and his like Dave's out of touchness, right? Like, oh, how do you think of workout one? He's like, I think people are going to be really, really, you know, blown up on the second run. And I'm just like, they're not. They're just not going to be blown up on the second run because they're not going to row hard. Right. Anyways, Jeffrey says good morning. Do you know Jeffrey?
Good morning, Jeffrey. Yeah. He was, I think we met in person at TFX for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Good dude.
Well, and then, oh shoot. It wasn't about Ty. No. I had it and it's gone.
Sorry.
I don't know.
It's time to roll. I got to dip. I got to get Bennett up.
Okay. Sounds good.
Cool. Well, hey, thanks so much. Oh, first, before we leave, guys, if you are looking for some apparel, PR Apparel is a sponsor of the show. PR Apparel, they do nice heavyweight shirts. These are my favorite. I love oversized heavyweight shirts. That's like my jam. They also have nice normal fitting shirts. They're going to sponsor us through the games. And we'll be giving away some like bigger discounts. But if you're looking for some clothes, good quality stuff, Swift, he's a hard worker. Keaton's the man. 15% off. Use code WODprep, prapparelshop.com. You know, they have good stuff, man. I really like it. And he's a good dude. And so you guys want to support the show, like and subscribe, head over to PR Apparel and use code WODprep. You get 15% off of any piece of clothing. And they just did a new drop. So head over there and pick up some stuff. So you guys won't be disappointed. Please support the show. I like sponsors. Helps me. Maybe we'll get some more sponsors. We can do this more often. I like getting on here and talking, but we do it pretty much for free. It doesn't do anything. So it doesn't do anything for really anything.
Well,
but no, it's good. So like and subscribe, head over there. And But Claire, thanks for coming on. How'd you like it?
Absolutely. Yeah, I enjoyed it. It definitely is such a different vibe. Like this is something so far outside of anything that I've done before. So it's interesting to just chat. I mean, of course I consume this stuff and have opinions, and then it's kind of an interesting format to unpack them, but it's cool.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Cool. Well, hey, thanks. And hopefully we'll do it again soon.
Yeah. Thank you.
All right, guys.
You guys have I was going to say maybe I'll say kick butt morning. I don't know. Does that matter?
To curse?
Yeah.
You can curse. I'm pretty sure.
All right, great. Have a kick-ass morning.
There you go. Cool. All right. We'll be back in like 3 hours with John. We're going to do a little prediction show on the first 4 events and pick the leaderboard of what the top 5 are going to look like after the first 4 events, since we pretty much assume we know what's going on. So tune back in. We'll see you guys in a bit. Have a great day and be a savage.